culture. Andrea's main areas of expertise are culture assessment and culture consulting. Over the last decade, he's cultivated an interest for creativity and innovation, exactly what we're talking about today, becoming an experienced facilitator of creative problem solving and Lego serious play, among other techniques. So please, to hear more about all of this and more, welcome to the stage, Andrea Montuschi.
Yes, I'm Italian. Ciao. Ronald Coase. What a hero for me. He said this thing in the 60s at a conference. And of course it's rather provocative. Don't take it too seriously. But for somebody like me, growing up as an HR consultant, as a researcher, that meant a lot. It became almost like a guiding principle. Data. The importance of data makes you feel like a god. You can play with the data, you can manipulate the data, shape it the way you want. When I joined my first company in the 90s in London, my first boss would tell me, "You know, Andrea, there are different kinds of consultants. One is the kind that can use statistics, play with numbers. These guys go into finance. Then there's those who are just okay with statistics, and they've been marketing. And then there's those who don't understand much about statistics, and they've been human resources. There's also some who don't understand at all. They can barely count to 10. They'll go into qualitative research, moderate focus groups, when they become very good at it. But now off you go, Andrea, you've got the focus group. And that was the beginning of my career. But then he said, well, if you work really hard and study, you can move up the research ladder. Yeah, right. Promises, promises. I joined Great Place to Work, and 20 years later, I'm still an HR consultant. And imagine how disappointed I was when I finally studied the Great Place to Work model. Most of you know it, the Trust Index, just to find out that after a beautiful series of incredibly beautiful statistical questions, close questions, 50, 60, how many do we have now, Michael? We're changing the model, I have no idea. 60 something, right? It's okay, 60 something. Questions with a beautiful scale, tick the box. The ultimate anticlimax, we finish with 2 horrible, open-ended questions. And they actually, we ask people, what's good about your company, praise your company, and we ask people, what don't you like about your company, criticize your company, tell us how to make it better, right? And that's worse, that's qualitative again. I feel like back in the 90s, I feel like Patrick, my former boss, is still above me going, go to the focus group room, boy. What do you do with that? Well, then I thought, certainly, respondents, I'm just not going to use the boxes, right? They've got all these beautiful questions. They're going to be happy with that. That's the feedback they're providing. They don't need to write up. Write? Who's writing these days? They dictate. Can they do that? I don't think they can. Fill the text box with a vocal comment? They're not going to use it. They're not going to use it. Oh God. That's what they did last year. Last year in Europe alone, we collected over 500,000 written comments to those 2 questions. I actually, in 20 languages by the way, because we're in Europe of course, we speak a lot of languages. And I actually counted the words one by one. Georgia moved up the research letters. Took a while. I finished last night, and it's about 8 million words. 8 million words for 500,000 comments. I see some people here. Yes, it's 16 words per comment on average. I, like my colleagues, and I get on with them a lot, a lot, a lot. That's 16. Right? I chose Peter Bruegel's Tower of Babel. This is a famous painting for the 16 Dutch people in the room, right? Yes, of course, you probably like your Peter Bruegel. That's one of the most famous depictions of the Babel Tower in history. You can actually clearly see some Great Place to Work consultants here in the corner, trying to make some sense out of the comments. We started early. But who's actually writing comments? How many people are writing comments? I mean, 500,000 is a big number, okay? So let's have a look. Quantitative data, yeah, I feel bad. Yes, 77% of people on average in Europe actually respond to our service. That's not comments, that's the percentage of the average last year of people responding to a Great Place to Work survey. Okay? Big ranges, Denmark, almost everybody. Danish here in the room? Is there a law in Denmark? It's compulsory. They have to, right, okay. 92%. Down to Poland and Germany with 66. But the average is very significant, it's very high. That's basically 3 out of 4 people responding to the survey. Now, how many actually write a comment as well? 33%. Now, mind you, that's 33% out of 100. That's not 33 of the 77, yeah? So it's almost half of those who respond to the survey also write a comment. 1 in 3, that's a lot. That's a lot of people. And who are they, in your opinion? Well, we did do some research, some further research, to find out that 23% don't respond. Who are these guys? Let's start from these guys. They don't bother responding. Now, 3 categories. 1, they're just not easy, not there. On holiday, maternity leave, paternity leave, forgot the email, wrong address, whatever. They just cannot answer. Easy. Second, and probably some of you are in the room, CEOs, very senior people, very positive about the company, but so positive they don't even bother. They go, you know, it's not for me, it's for my employees. I want to see and hear what they have to say, not what I have to say. I don't want to pollute the data with my opinions, so I don't answer. That's not a big percentage, but it's there. The most serious one is the ones who checked out, basically. You lost them. And that's the serious part. They don't answer your survey because they lost trust in you and in the tool, or in the tool, the survey tool. Okay? So the 77% is a mild majority of people with an opinion about the company and with still some faith that you are going to do something with their answers. And who are the ones writing comments then? Well, out of this mild majority, these are the extremes. The ones who have strong feelings, either in a positive or in a negative way. Okay? So this 33% of employees are people who still believe, and they believe even more than the other colleagues, that the survey is going to have an impact on their life and on their colleagues' lives. They're not the majority, but they are a very, very important and vocal minority. They can reach a tipping point at some point and change the mood in the company if you're not careful, if you don't listen to them. So listening to the comments, in that sense, is absolutely vital. Don't start from the comments, because it's a minority, but use them. Use them to understand the data. Now, we were faced with a problem, though. 500,000 comments. 8 million words. 8 million numbers is called big data. 8 million words is called big mess. What do we do with that? We shopped around, we went around the world looking for a pattern. Of course, there's a lot of tools to analyze context, analytics and stuff. Our problem in Great Place to Work, in Europe in particular, is that we speak an enormous number of languages. And we want to, a lot of you work in multinationals, and you don't want to have analysis just done in single countries, you want everything together. Simple, you might think, translate everything in English and do it. Yes, that's possible. costs a fortune, but it's possible. Would you be willing to pay for that? Maybe translate 30,000 comments into English and then analyze them. And of course, to save money, you Google Translate. Let's face it, you say, oh, we're going to get a big agency to do it, and because it's going to be a double check, and then some native speakers are going to do a back translation to make sure that the translation was actually good, so that we're really analyzing the right stuff. No, you're going to Google it. You're just going to put it in Google Translator, put it into English, cheap, free, highly inaccurate. Does not work. So we found some friends in Paris, they're actually sitting in the room here, Open Square. You saw them, they're sponsoring this conference as well. And with Open Square, we developed a system, they developed a system, and together we adapted it to the Great Place to Work model to analyze all comments without having to translate anything. So their tool, it's artificial intelligence of course, digests all languages together. Now I use digest, what's the output of digestion? No. Outputs. And the system, there was, outputs, thematic clusters. Yeah, so you're familiar with word clouds? You know word clouds? You know when you use your comments, you put them in a word cloud software, and you get that the most common word your people wrote is and. Then you clean it, and you get that company is the biggest word, followed by employees. And sometimes if you're happy, if you're lucky, you get happy, or you get unhappy. And that's it, that's analysis with word clouds. With this kind of analysis, we actually get concepts in a cloud. So we find out which are the most discussed topics in our survey. We applied that to our 500,000 comments in Europe last year. Took a while, actually didn't really. It was actually quite quick because the computer does it. And I'll show you the results now. Number one, top themes in Europe by frequency. Question number one, that's the happy question. The one, what's the name? This question. Happy people, okay? Happy people write about, in particular, hours and flexibility. Inside there, you have topics like smart working, for example. Any of you recruiting in your companies? You do job interviews, I suppose, for people? How many times do you get to talk about smart working, especially with young people? They always bring it up, don't they? It's very important for them. When they find it in their company, in your companies, it goes up there. 11%, that's basically, if we project it, it's about 50,000 people. A bit more than that. Oh, by the way, forgot to tell you, we weighted the results here, yeah? So the scores you're seeing are based on a weighted average in Europe. So we wanted to make sure that France, Germany, England, the big economies are actually heavier in the data set than countries like Luxembourg, or the small ones, Greece and so on. Hours and flexibility. I'll take you to the third one because I want to treat the other ones together. Work environment, you see the icon we chose there is a little desk, somebody working at a desk, because there we have everything around the office, facilities, resources given to people, so it's a physical thing. Time, space. I want to be able to have flexibility in terms of timing. When I clock in and clock out, if I clock in and clock out, or ideally when I don't clock in and clock out, I just have a good smart working experience. And I want to be able to work in a nice place, a good office that helps me do my job. Look at the other three, and that's very consistent with what Amy just said, actually. She spoke about the importance of humor and laughter at work. Family spirit, cooperation, and atmosphere. They're all very linked together. We talk about internal climate. So people want to be flexible, have a nice place to stay, and enjoy the people they work with. Be supported, have good cooperation. Michael showed us a question about people happy to go to work in the morning, which was very important in our research as well. It's this. Make sense? Now I'm sure that I tried to build the climax here because people normally don't really care about this. We know that. They don't really care much about question one. They want to know about question two. What's wrong? What do they complain about? Well, let's see it. Money! Oh, what a surprise! They want more cash. Not true. It's not only money. It's actually a big percentage, 18%. So again, projected on 500,000 people. Almost 100 then, 100,000. In rewards, there's salaries, yes, there's also, it's broader than that. It's true that if you have ever analyzed a quantitative survey, you'll know that any question with the word salary or rewards in it is about 30% lower than any other question in the survey. Why? Because we all believe we are worth more than we're paid. Well, I am, for sure. I don't know about you guys, but... and also, even if we didn't think that, we would probably go, you know, it's like Aladdin with a lamp. To hell with it. I've got 3 wishes. Yeah, world peace, beautiful woman, money. Let's check money in. Why not? It's a text box. I'm gonna ask for soft stuff, career development, blah, blah, blah. Let's put money as well, just in case. 80%. So it's a little difficult to analyze in that sense. But look at the rest. Management. Again, Michael spoke about the importance of, that's direct management, by the way. Yeah? In this research, top management is called leadership. It doesn't feature here in the top 5. Management, so your boss. Internal processes and rewards. These are very, I'll explain why I skipped the other 2, but you probably realized already. These 3 are really aspects, are really things that happen to us at work. I have a boss that can make my life good or miserable. I have processes that can help me be effective at work or be a burden or block me at work. And then I've got a reward. And for everything I do, I get paid. So these are the things that people complain about more. And they say, if you want this company to be great, you better work on these things. But you probably realize that 2 concepts here, hours and flexibility and work environment, were in question 1 too, right? Let me help you. Look at that. 2 concepts appear both in question 1, and in question 2. Is that wrong? Do you have Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde in the company? I love my office. My office is fantastic. It's great. Wow, I love to go to this. What don't you like about the company? The office sucks. It's terrible. How can you work in such a dump? No, you don't have that. It's different people, of course. Yeah? We've got 10% praising work environment and 10%, a different 10%, I like to believe, complaining about the work environment. What does this mean if they appear in hours and flexibility as well, right? What does this mean when these things, it happens often in this kind of research. It means that these topics are super important. They're top of mind, always, no matter what. It means that they're moving from being hygienic factors to being the extra bit that makes a work experience exceptional. They're there, they're right at the tipping point, they're ready to fall over there. Maybe soon, they're not going to appear on this side and they'll just be there. Among excellent workplaces like you are. Okay? Now, let me just close with I'll just leave this on. I just want to close with a couple of slides. And yeah, all right. Just find your country. I cannot comment for all these countries. But let me remind you that after this conference, wait maybe a week or 2, you can connect with your local Great Place to Work consultants. And every consultant in Europe will have a deck dedicated to their own country, so with this data specific for the country. So they'll be happy to come and talk to you, explode in these columns that I put here on the slide. Okay, going more in depth. But I would say, let me close with a different research that we carried out very recently in Europe. It's called the HR panel. Maybe some of you participated. This went out, it's a different research. It went out to 1,200 HR professionals across Europe. We asked different questions, and I picked this one. And again, you'll receive the report. You'll see the report in the next weeks. 66% of HR professionals actually say that health and well-being are becoming a strategic priority. Again, that's consistent with question 1. Question 1 says, what do they like about their companies, about best workplaces? Atmosphere, climates. a relaxed, nice workplace with good colleagues, that health and well-being is becoming a strategic priority in your countries, in your companies. Okay? Now, in Sweden, for instance, you've got this nice way of dealing with breaks, with relaxation. Yesterday the parks were full at 4 o'clock. Oh, why? Was there a bank holiday yesterday? No. Tomorrow, but not yesterday, right? No. Anyway, you've got this nice approach to life and to work, and you've got this beautiful concept of the coffee break with your colleagues, right? Which you should exploit. And I mean, are we gonna have a coffee break soon? I guess so. Make sure you use these breaks to talk to, don't use coffee breaks to speak on the phone, to write reports. Use them to talk to people and to relax. So I'd like to wish you a good conference, enjoy the next speakers, and especially enjoy your fika.
Hey, Andrea. Well done. Okay, I want to take Omni's advice and offer an extra round of applause for making us laugh so much.
Thank you.
As a fellow nerd, I appreciate someone who mixes quantitative data